Coming up on Look Today, well, the Code Blue Site Committee in Saratoga finds a new building to house its operations. I've got details. And Peace Week kicks off with great cultural activities. More on that coming up. And a fundraiser will take place tonight at Circus Cafe. It's all coming up on Look Today. Welcome everyone, I'm Jay Hood Jackson and this is Look Today. In tonight's program, I sit down with Sean Francis. He's a candidate for the New York State Senate and he's here to talk about his journey that led him to a life of politics. I also sit down with Samantha Bosshart. She's the executive director of the Saratoga Springs Preservation Foundation. And we're joined by Seth Finkel. He's the honorary co-chair to the foundation. And they're here to talk about the upcoming Trask Art Show that's happening September 29. Plus, we've got your weather for the Tri-North counties, but first, these headline stories. Well, in our lead story, here's an update on a story we started telling you about yesterday. The Code Blue Site Committee for Saratoga has found a new location for its operations. The new building is now the Soul Saving Station Church, which is located on Henry Street. Well, we spoke to Mike Finocchi. He's the Executive Director for Shelters of Saratoga.
Well, our new location is Soul Saving Station Church. It's going to be a great partnership because Soul Saving Station has been here for 45 years in the community, and they actually house at Mother Anderson homeless women with children. So it's going to be a nice little marriage because we both deal with the same population and the same individuals who who are on the street and are homeless. So we're looking forward to the new location. They were wonderful. They stepped up and offered up this space.
Mike's a hard worker. Congratulations, Mike. We also spoke to Mayor Joanne Yepsen about the origins of the Code Blue Shelter.
This is a big relief. We have a site committee that's sort of a subcommittee of the Code Blue Steering Committee. The Code Blue Steering Committee was put together really organically 3 years ago after Nancy Pitts died in December of 2013. I pulled together as many nonprofits as I could think of that work with this population and said to Albany, how do you do Code Blue? Everybody has a Code Blue except Saratoga Springs. So I've got that program up and running only because of all the nonprofit support and support from others who had done it before us.
In other news, well, Peace Week kicked off last night with a seminar on education for women in Afghanistan. Nang Atal was born to illiterate parents in a tribal community in Afghanistan. He grew up during the civil war in that country and not only managed to get an education, but also opened a school for women in his mom's kitchen. Talk about overcoming adversity. Now, he gave a seminar yesterday at Skidmore, and he talked about the importance of education for all. Now, Peace Week, by the way, runs till Sunday and features the diverse cultures of the world in music, in art, even a flea market. You've got to attend. Switching from news to weather. Well, today brought another beautiful day of weather with even warmer temperatures. Let's see how the rest of the week is shaping up. For a more detailed look at our weather, we're going to head to the Glens Falls Weather Center for a look at your first forecast. Back to the news. Well, a fundraising event is taking place tonight at Circus Cafe in Saratoga to raise money for Kateri Clear. Now, Kateri is the daughter of Kristen Najek, who recently passed away. For those who wish to participate and donate, a silent auction is going on all day at Circus Cafe. Now, both Magic Moon and Circus Cafe work together to create the event. Now, also starting at 10 p.m. tonight is Circus Cafe's open mic, where donations can also be made. Well, we spoke to Ashley Merzda. She's event coordinator for Circus Cafe about the community coming together.
The community's been really incredible. We have over 65 donations inside. Almost every local retailer, salon, spa has offered to donate something, so it's been really incredible.
Up next, I sit down with Sean Francis. He's a candidate for the New York State Senate. He's here to talk about his journey that led him to a life in politics. Good interview. Plus, I also sit down with Samantha Bosshart. She's the executive director of the Saratoga Springs Preservation Foundation. We're joined by Seth Finkel. He's the honorary co-chair to the foundation. They're here to discuss the upcoming Trask Art Show that's happening September 29th. But first, if you see news happening, you want to share a story idea, how about join us for an interview? And give us a call on the hotline. The number is 798-8000. Well, that's all the time we have for this edition of Look Today. Tonight's Lookout is personal. I lost a close friend this morning. His name was Dan, but to those of us close to him, he was known as the General. And he was the unofficial leader of a small group of media guys in New York called the Captains of Cable, which I have always been a proud member. It was a core group of about 5 of us, with me being the least successful and kind of the creative one. But Danny was old school media. He was an impeccable dresser, a great salesman, and seriously rough around the edges. I mean, God forbid you should have the misfortune of being a waitress and having him as a customer. But he was also an ex-Marine and loyal beyond description, with a heart bigger than his gut. Now, I mention this to pay tribute to him, but to also highlight the devastation of the disease that took his life. It's ALS. Now, I didn't know much about it until he was diagnosed. It's the most insidious disease on the planet. It robs you over time of all your motor skills except your mind. Now, you try living when the only movement you control is your eyes. And to date, there's no cure. Now, you can contribute to fighting this disease by making a donation. So please consider doing this. Or as a general would say, Gumby, I'm talking to you, so you better pay attention. Bye, Dan.